Hi, I'm Tyro Man, and I'm at Fan Expo Boston 2018. I'm talking to Rhiannon, Lucy, and Reese. How you guys all doing?
Good, thank you. Really good.
Thanks for taking time to talk to us. Can you tell us about what your costumes are?
I'm Adari from Kakeguri.
I am Tsushima Yoshiko from Love Live.
I'm Himeko Togo from My Hero Academia.
And how long did it take you guys to make your costumes?
We actually didn't make ours.
Okay.
No, we had to buy ours.
Made her costumes.
How long did it take you to make it?
About 3 weeks.
Do you make a lot of your own costumes, or is this
I
your
just
first?
started. This is my first.
So you guys having a good time at the convention?
We went all 3 days.
Yeah.
Ah, nice. What was your best part of the convention that you liked the most?
The dealer's room.
Yeah. Taylor's room's probably my favorite. That and like meeting other people, always a good thing.
Yeah, a lot of great costumes here I've seen.
Yeah.
Some really cool.
Beautiful ones, definitely. It's always fun when people like walk up to you and like ask for a picture. I think it's
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, we want to thank you for taking time to talk to us. We appreciate it.
Of course.
Thank you so much.
Now, is there like a pose or something you'd want to do on the... Hi, Tyro Man. I'm at Fan Expo Boston 2018. I'm talking with Frank Mashtromauro of Aspen Comics. How you doing, Frank?
Doing great. Thank you very much.
So do you want to give us like just an overview of what you guys have coming out right now from out of Aspen?
Sure. It's our 15-year anniversary, so we're really excited because we had a lot of great things going on. Currently, right now, we have our two flagship books, Fathom and Soulfire, that have both begun their volume 7 of the series. So both of those are currently coming out. And then we have two brand new titles. One's called Dissension War Eternal by Jordan Gutterson. The other one's called New Way that JT Kroll and Alex Conad are working on right now. And those 2 books just started within the last 2 weeks. So we actually have a lot of big stuff going on right now, which is fantastic.
Can you give us a synopsis of what the 2 new books are about?
Sure, Dissension War Eternal. Oh man, Jordan's gonna hate me because I'm probably gonna butcher this, but it's essentially about these fallen angels that are now trying to start this war on Earth from centuries ago. So it's this really cool kind of heaven versus Earth with tons of other things in there that Jordan is just making this really cool, intriguing fantasy action adventure. So we're really excited about it because it's coming out amazing. A New Way is set in the near future. Don't know exactly how far, just due to the fact that the technology in the book helps fighters become enhanced. So it's all about what you do to get ahead in life, but also how much does that take away from your actual soul and your humanity. So JT is doing a really cool character-driven story about this young fighter who has come up from the slums and wants to become popular and famous and all this good stuff and be super successful, but he also doesn't want to sacrifice what makes him himself. So they're both really, really amazing stories, like I said, that just started up, and we're really excited. They debuted in our free comic book day issue that came out in May. So a lot of people got the 0 issue in here, and now issue number 1's just came out. So
Awesome, great. Now, which book do you work on?
I work on several of our books. I mean, I run the company, so I work on everything, but specifically, I write and create Shrugged, because that was a book I started with Michael Turner years ago. I also do Delic with Vince Hernandez. He and I created that years ago. Then I have Overtaken, which is my book, which just came out in trade paperback. And then a brand new title called Awakened Skies, which debuts next month.
All right, cool.
So quite a few.
Yeah, that is a lot.
Yeah.
Is there one that you like more than the others? Like,
Oh, of
more
course.
closely?
All my stuff. Well, out of my stuff, though, I'm really liking Awakened Skies. Just one, it's a different type of story that I'm not used to telling or that I haven't told before. So I'm having a really fun time, and it's actually taken me a little while to really get it all put together the way I really want to try to tell a more intriguing story. So I'm excited for it.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So how's the reaction this weekend been from fans?
Been fantastic. We always have a great time here in Boston. It's our 3rd year in a row here. So we're starting to find a good home, and a lot of good fans really here support us and get into the Aspen property. So we're really happy about that.
Oh, that's cool. It's really great to see a small company, comic book company, still publishing after 15 years.
Cool.
With the 2 big ones, right?
Yeah, no. I've been a Marvel boy my whole life. Incredible Hulk's my favorite, but I mean, this is the stuff that we do, that we put our life and sweat and tears into and everything. And for 15 years now, I'm really excited that we've been able to persevere and last, and that our properties have endured for that long. So it's really cool.
Yeah, that's great. Now, what's your website? Is it just Aspen.comics?
Yep, we're on every social media site you can think of: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and it's all Aspen Comics, aspencomics.com for our website.
Okay.
Yep.
Great. So people can find out.
Yep. You can look us up and get all the information you want on all of our books.
All right, great. Well,
Cool.
thanks for talking to us. Appreciate it.
No, thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Tyro Man, and I'm at Fan Expo Boston 2018. I'm talking with Zach Calllison. How you doing, Zach?
Pretty good, man. What's good?
No, not much. So you're the voice of Steven on Steven Universe, plus a whole lot of other stuff.
Yeah, man.
You want to tell us about your other projects you got going on?
Yeah, I mean, I'm working on some stuff now I can't talk about that's highly secret, but of the stuff that's out, I was Prince James on Disney Sophia the First. Chuck on Amazon's Just Had Magic. That's an on-camera show. Steven, obviously, on Steven Universe, and a whole host of other cartoons and on-camera shows for the past 11 years. And I'm also I'm doing music now. I just dropped an album about 9 days ago, and I'm getting ready to take that on tour across the country.
Awesome. So what, of all those things, what do you like the best? The singing, the acting, the voice acting?
I mean, I love just making art in general, but right now music is my main focus because it's my first time I've been able to do something on a large scale that is like completely my creation. Actors are sort of mercenaries, and we work as guns for hire on other people's shows.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've been able to put something out that I'm the executive producer of, make my own way, and also tell my own story because it's about some really dark stuff from my own life, and that's been the best blessing I could ask for.
Well, what's do you think would be the big hit off that album? Or your favorite song?
I mean, so far it's been my song "War," which is what we got the T-shirts for, and this is the album cover. We got it all out here for the first time. We sold out of CDs yesterday. I didn't think that
awesome.
we would sell as many as we did. That song is very high energy, a lot of fanfare, and it's very aggressive. It's about It's basically a diss track of someone that I used to be with for not putting out their music and not me putting out mine. And sort of like, I told you so, I gotcha type thing in a very theatrical, high-stakes way. And that's been the favorite so far because that's the first one I released. But now that the album's out, I'm getting a lot of attention for the other songs, which is nice to see it spread out.
Oh, that's great. And you said you're taking that on tour? Is that...
I leave for the first leg of tour on Friday. I'm touring with a guy named Nate Wants to Battle, who does also some really rockin' music. We're doing Nashville all the way up to Seattle, Washington on this first leg, and then hopefully we'll be here on the East Coast come October. We'll be announcing that soon on my social media.
What is your social media pages if people want to follow you and check out that?
Yeah, for social media, Instagram, @ZachCalllison, Twitter, @ZachCalllison, YouTube, just my name, Zach Calllison. For the music, I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, basically anywhere you would normally digitally get your music. And the album's called A Picture Perfect Hollywood Heartbreak.
So how's the convention been winding down here?
Really good, man. I was here last year, and the crowds are awesome. A lot of Steven fans. The big difference is this year is I was able to bring the rest of the cast out and be with them. I love seeing them. Yeah. And that I had the music out here, and some people that came up already knew that, which was cool. But I love coming to Boston for shows. It's a cool city with really nice fans, and this convention specifically is very well run.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for talking to us. We do appreciate it.
All right, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Best of luck.
Tyro Man, and I'm at Fan Expo Boston. I'm talking with Sam Miserendino at Skyhorse Publishing. How you doing, Sam?
Very good, thank you.
So how's the con been going? We're on the end of our second day, pretty much.
It's been going excellent. It's been one of the best cons I've ever had. So most successful one I've had to date.
Great. So a lot of foot traffic, a lot of people coming through.
Yeah, a lot of that. A lot of people showing interest in the books. A lot of people buying my books. So I'm very happy with how it's gone.
What was the best reaction to the book?
Just when. Well, the books they're humorous. Yeah. So just the laughter when people are just really cracking up when they're reading it. I love to see that.
So what are your new books?
Well, I've got If You Give a Bear a Bong, which is sort of shows you what happens when a boy and his bong meet a bud-loving bear. Okay. And the other one I have, which is new, is If You Give a Bunny a Beer, which is it's a cautionary tale about the dangers of mixing alcohol and small mammals. Oh, cool. And they're sort of part of an addicted animal series I'm working on.
Oh, okay. So what's the next one in the line?
I do. It's coming out hopefully next summer. So yeah, it's really been great. The books are actually available on Amazon, and Barnes & Noble is carrying them. So.
What's is there a working title for the next one already?
Not yet. It's still.
So we don't know what the animal.
Right.
Okay.
Right. But yeah. So it's a little bit of a departure from my prior book, but it's been interesting.
Oh, cool. So. Now, what advice would you give to somebody trying to get into comics? I
would say to really work on a lot of different styles of work, because you never know what type may hit with either a publisher or an agent. And the more material you have, the more opportunities you might have for somebody to actually take interest in what you've done. Now, and I would also advise them to be very careful, because there are a lot of sharks out there who will take advantage of people who are trying to get something out there.
Yeah, they'll take their money and say, invest in it.
Right, like I can do something for you, and a lot of them can't, and they're just sort of trying to take advantage of someone who's aspiring to, get their work out there.
Now, growing up, were you into comics? Is that why you went into publishing it?
I was, yeah. I loved comics, and I loved horror comics, and then I've also always been drawn to humor. So that's, with these are parodies of children's books, and it's, just kind of always been drawn to that.
What were some of your favorite titles growing up? Were you a DC man, Marvel?
Well, with comics, I was really into eerie and creepy.
Oh, okay.
So those were really the big ones. Of course, I loved Mad and Cracked. So,
all right, cool. So
yeah.
A humor one.
Right. Yep.
All right, cool. Now, do you have a website if people want to follow up on your books and check them out?
I do. I've got a Facebook page, so people can find If You Give a Bunny a Beer if they put that in on Facebook, the book will come up, the book site.
Okay.
And the same with If You Give a Bear a Bong. So, yeah, you can find me on Facebook with the titles of the books.
All right, super easy.
Yep, very.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks for talking to
Great.
us.
Well,
Have a
thank
good day tomorrow. One more day to go.
Yep, thank you.
All right, thanks. Hi, everyone. Tyro Man at Fan Expo Boston 2018. I'm talking with Emma. How you doing, Emma?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. So tell us a little about the costume you're wearing.
So this is Alphonse from Full Metal Alchemist. It's all built from EVA foam and pretty much hot glue, bar cement. So it's mostly foam.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very impressive. Great job. How long did it take you to build it?
I was kind of working over the summer, but it became a 2-week crunch leading up to the con. So it was a busy 2 weeks.
Nice. Now, are you always cosplayer? Like, how long have you been cosplaying?
A couple of years. I've made a couple costumes, but
Where do you draw your inspiration for costume? Gaming, comics?
kind of a mix. I do comics and, Game of Thrones, just anything that has metal bits that I can paint,
So that's like your favorite medium to work with?
Yeah, I enjoy painting the metal and the armor and stuff like that.
Nice. Very cool. Very cool. Now, do you have a site if people want to see your other creations and
No,
Instagram?
unfortunately, no. I don't have a website for this stuff, but
Oh, okay.
should make one.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, a lot of cosplayers have them out there. That's why I asked.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Well, you did an awesome job. And
Thank you.
Everyone, thank you for talking
Thank
to
you.
us. Thanks. Hi, everybody. I'm Tyro Man, and I'm at Fan Expo Boston. I'm talking to Richard Horvitz. How you doing, Richard?
Good, thank you. It's good to be here.
Yeah, thanks for letting us talk to you. Now, you've done a lot of different voices.
Yes.
Billy, Evil Zim,
Eh.
the Angry Beavers.
Ooh, Spoony Beaver.
Do you have any favorites out of all those characters?
You know what? I love them all very much. They're all part of me, so it's hard to choose a favorite of them. I love them all pretty much equally.
Okay. What's the first one? How did you get started in all this business?
I got started because I was an on-camera actor as a kid, and then in around 1989, I had an agent that shared an office with a voiceover agent, and that's how I got in. Really, not an amazing story, but that's how it happened.
Now, you work with a lot of other voice actors and stuff. Have you
Oh,
worked with
yes.
Billy West?
I work with Billy a lot, and Rob Paulson, and Maurice LaMarche, and Jess Harnell, and Gray Griffin, and Tara Strong, and you name it, I've worked with them.
Have you ever gotten involved in any of the writing behind the scenes?
Yes, yeah, in Billy and Mandy, my wife Kristen and I wrote 2 of the episodes.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Which ones were those?
We wrote Keeper of the Reaper and Bad News Ghouls.
Oh, cool. What are you currently working on? Like, what's the...
I'm currently working on, Skylanders Academy, in which I play Chaos, is on Netflix, and I'm doing doing a show for Nickelodeon called The Adventures of Kid Danger, and I do a couple shows for Disney right now, Elena of Avalor and Tangled, and a bunch of other things. And I'm doing Psychonauts 2 right now, a video game that I'm recording.
Oh, that sounds like fun. Have you done a lot of other video games?
Yeah, I've done quite a few video games. Destroy All Humans, Ratchet and Clank, lots of them, yeah.
Yeah, I love Ratchet and Clank. That's
Yeah,
a fun
I do
one.
World of Warcraft, Hearthstone.
You're a busy man.
Yes, try to keep busy.
Yeah, that's cool. Now, what advice do you give to somebody trying to get into voice acting?
Take sketch classes and improv classes and acting classes and do theater. Do a bunch of that stuff, because if you can do all that stuff, voiceover is easy. Yeah.
Now, do you have a website if people want to follow you and see
Yeah,
you?
if you want to follow me, you can go to richardhorvitz.com, or if you're interested in classes, you can send an email to richardhorvitzclasses@gmail.com.
Oh, that sounds like a great thing to do.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for taking time to talk to us. We appreciate it.
You betcha.
Hi, everyone. I'm Tyro Man, and I'm talking with Nolan of Deepwater Games at Fan Expo Boston 2018. How you doing, Nolan?
I'm doing excellent, Tyro Man. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Cool. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. So tell us, how's the convention been going all weekend?
The convention is going fantastic. Yeah. It's been great for Deepwater Games. The first Boston Fan Expo for Deepwater Games.
Okay.
And there's been a great reception to all of our games. I'm blown away by how many people have been, just buy our games on site, or after 30 seconds of hearing about them, they're like, yes, I have to have these. Yeah.
So can you give us an overview of the games?
Yeah,
you've got?
definitely. So, I founded Deepwater Games because I love board games. Board games shape my life. They bring people together, and all of our games kind of fall into that same category. And that's what I want to do with all of our games, is I want games that bring people together in different ways. So all of our games are very easy to learn, which is really important to me because I want to play games with my family. I want to play games with new gamers. I don't want to, people who aren't going to be able to necessarily sit down for 4 hours and play a super complicated strategy game right off the bat. And so I want games that are going to be accessible. I want small price point games because not everybody can spend $80, $90 on a huge board game. And so that's what I strive for with all of our games.
Yeah, awesome. Can you go over one or two of them, like the
Definitely.
strategy? Of
Yeah. So one of our new releases coming out next month is called Welcome To. It is what we're calling a flip and fill game, where everybody has a score sheet and they're all using that. They're all writing down numbers on their own score sheet, but you're using those numbers to build houses in a neighborhood. Everybody's building their own neighborhood, and you're also doing things like building parks and pools and things like that in order to score the most points and have the best neighborhood at the end of the game. The reason I love this game, the reason I'm so excited about it coming out, is because it plays 1 to 100 players out of the box, but in reality it plays 1 to infinite players. Everybody's taking their turn simultaneously, and it plays in 25 minutes. So it's a game that you can take literally anywhere, play with any size group, any type of gamer, and it's gonna be a huge hit. So then we also have Hanamakoji coming out in a week, and that's going to be hitting stores. And Hanamakoji is an award-winning 2-player card game. It plays in 15 minutes, and it takes 2 minutes to learn how to play it. So the thing I love about this game is how tense and deep the strategy is for a game that comes in such a small box, and it's a small game, small components, but somehow you get these really interesting, tense decisions from it that are just it's a really incredible 2-player card game. Yeah.
Cool. Nice. So if people want to follow up on the game, you have some websites and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. You can follow us. You can find us at deepwatergaming.com, and then you can follow our social media everywhere at Deepwater Games.
All right. Cool. Thanks. Well, thanks for talking to us.
Thank you so much, Tyro Man. Yeah, pleasure.
Hi, everyone. It's Tyro Man, and I'm at Fan Expo Boston. I'm talking with Robin and James. How are you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Fantastic. I'm doing good.
So tell us a little about your costume. How long did it take you to make it? Are you a frequent cosplayer? How many cons?
I'm a frequent cosplayer. This one was pretty simple. I bought the suit from Hero Time, and then the makeup takes a good half hour to put on. So it's not too complicated. No.
How about you?
I've been cosplaying for the last 4 years. 4 years.
4 years.
I made this entire costume by scratch, pretty much. Buying a few things off of Amazon. I hand dyed the shirt and the pants, and I made the entire mask by myself. I got welding goggles, unscrewed them, put the lenses in. I sewed the hood up, and the inside is just a white half shell that I made. I don't really know if you could see that, but yeah. Glued everything together, and I also made my web shooters as well. That's all EVA foam and mechanical pencil that I deconstructed.
About how long did it take you to build it all?
It's like a week.
A week?
Like a week, yeah.
I think
a week of good work, pretty much.
because I have a Homecoming Gwen suit as well, and it took about a week and a half to make. So.
It's on and off work.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Now, what's the favorite costume you made so far? You're like, wow, I did so great, and this is the best one so far.
Oh, that's a hard one. Probably a tie between Homecoming Spider-Gwen that I've done in previous years and Winry Rockbell from Fullmetal Alchemist. Yeah.
That was one of your better ones.
Yeah.
For me, it's got to be my my Deadpool costume. My Deadpool costume, I've kind of spent like the last 3 or 4 years just kind of taking and putting parts on every so often. So I've got like a combat vest, I've got ammo holsters, I've got my drop-down holsters for my guns, I've got a knife, I've got shin pads, knee pads, elbow pads.
He had like the whole 9 yard.
And I made a mask a lot similar to this one, except it's Deadpool. Hand-sculpted clay and stuff like that for the eyes. I'm very proud of that one. I spent the last 2 days actually walking around in that, so.
Nice.
Today's my my easy day where I get to walk around in practically pajamas.
Nice. Yeah, you need to vest a little on the third day because of timing.
Yeah, it does.
These
get tired.
convention, yeah.
Yep.
What are you guys planning on making your next project costume?
For Anime New York, I'm doing Chase from Magnus Bride, so I'm excited to do her, and then probably add in more to my Deathstroke into Deadpool. Yep.
That's a hard question for me. I don't really know what I'm gonna do next. Like the future is a mystery, you know. Like you just like in a fit of inspiration, you grab that by the horns and you just like, this is the one. I haven't found that one yet, but I think I'm going to soon, hopefully.
You're working on an original costume right now.
Yeah, I am working on an original costume now. I'm making a D&D inspired character for a different con. For PAX East, I think is probably going to be coming through. Yep. Yeah. So, which happens here at the Boston Exhibition and Convention Center. So, yeah, that's my next project, I think.
Do you guys have like a website or anything you want to promote?
You can always check out my Instagram, which is RobinWinter26, or my Facebook, which is Robin Winter Cosplay.
I'm on Instagram and I'm on Twitter as at Jazered, which is JAZERRED. You can find me there.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm at Fan Expo Boston 2018. I'm talking with Frederick. How you doing, Frederick?
Good, doing very well. Thank you.
And you're with Source Point Press, right?
Yes, I am.
So tell us, what are you doing? So you have a book out of there?
Yes, I actually have a couple books. So I'm the author of Soul Survivor. Soul Survivor is kind of like your Punisher meets Firefly story, if you will, Punisher in space. It's about the last surviving human. Soul survived the genocide of the human race, and he's seeking revenge against the alien empire that's responsible for it. Oh, okay. And then I also write another series called Skylin. Skylin, it won Fantasy Book of the Year in 2017 on Comic Central. We just released Skylin issue 2 just recently. It's kind of like your Avatar: The Last Airbender meets Game of Thrones. It's focused on Skylin and her hero's journey to the floating city where they're having a dragon hatching ceremony.
Nice. How long have you guys been publishing? Or have you been publishing?
About the last 2 years. We've been, so SourcePoint's been around for over 5 at this point. Okay. They have a lot of great books, a lot of great titles. They have a movie coming out, in fact. But me personally, I've been published for the last 2.
Oh, all right, cool. So what are you up to on these 2 titles?
Soul Survivor, we have issue 2 that's coming out next month. Skylin issue 2 is just released. And then Skylin issue 3 will be released in the next month. The big release is going to be for Diamond Distribution. So we're going to be released to every comic book shop in the country for my particular titles starting in 2019.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And then we'll be doing a monthly release for all the titles.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Cool. Well, do you have a website if people want to check, follow up on it?
Absolutely. There's 2 of us. So there's SourcePointPress.com. And then there's also QuranComics.com. So that's the imprint of SourcePoint Press.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for talking to us.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. I'm Tyro Man at Fan Expo Boston 2018. I'm talking to Ken Perry of Source Point Press. How you doing, Ken?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. So do you want to tell us an overview of what's going on right now with Source Point Press?
We're everywhere now. We're at over 60 cons throughout the year. We're expanding our line. We're in previews right now, too, so we're reaching out to your local comic shops.
Awesome. And I heard you guys have a movie coming out?
Yes, I believe Rotten Tail is going to be out. I believe I don't know if I can say the network. It rhymes with Schmi-Fi. So
what is that about?
Rotten Tail, it's about a man that was bit by a mutant rabbit, radioactive rabbit, and so he slowly starts mutating himself into a mutant rabbit. He's like a man rabbit, like a were-rabbit. So.
All right. Sounds something like a sci-fi comedy.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, cool. And now what books, you're an artist on which books?
I'm the artist on Wretched Things. It's about a old Victorian abandoned house. The vermin take over the house. A young couple buys that house, tries to move in, fix up the house, but the vermin unite together and rise up against them. So they fight back.
Cool. So what are some of the other titles? Like, do you guys touch on different genres and stuff?
Oh yeah, we've got sci-fi like Salvagers, which is basically a Star Wars meets Sanford and Son. We've got Soul Survivor, which he's the sole survivor of the human race, and he goes on a rampage across the galaxy, trying to get revenge on his species getting killed out. We've got the Family Graves, which is kind of like a Universal Studios monster family, but they go on Incredibles or Fantastic Four style adventures. So we've got stuff for your family, family-friendly, kid-friendly stuff. We've got superheroes, we've got horror, we've got magic, we've got sci-fi. So
the whole gamut.
We try to, yeah.
Nice, cool. So what's the next issue on yours coming out?
Well, this is my whole story. This is my complete story. I can't talk about the project I'm working on, but it's pretty exciting, though. Sorry, buddy.
But it's exciting if you want to talk about
Yeah, I know, I know, but then I get in trouble. So
okay. When is that supposed to wrap up, next year? Or?
probably sometime in 2019, probably the summertime. Yeah, it'll probably hit shops. So
Cool. Well, so the website, if people want to follow up, and
yeah, sure. SourcePointPress.com.
And they can find out what's coming out and where to reach you guys.
You'll be able to see our whole catalog on there and when it's available. So.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for talking to us. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tyro Man, and I'm at Fan Expo Boston 2018. I'm talking with Boston Brand. How you doing, Boston?
Good. How you doing?
No, I think I'm doing a little better than you. You look a little dead.
A little bit? Yeah. Just a scotch.
Just a scotch.
Yeah.
So how does it feel to have this powers to go and inhabit other people's body? I think I've heard that's what you do, right?
I mean, I really miss the touch of a woman.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of stinks.
Yeah.
And food.
Food.
I used to really like food.
Yeah. What was your favorite dish?
Anything that's not really healthy for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, keep that body trim.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the junk stuff tastes so good, and all the good stuff tastes
When
so
you're not dead, yeah, it tastes fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, what are you going to do?
Yeah, what can you do? So how long did it take you to become Dead Man?
To become Dead Man?
Yeah.
A while. Yeah. Put on the silicone mask and everything. It's kind of a process. It's hard after a while. It's not too bad though.
Cool. Have you been cosplaying a lot? Or?
For about like 4 years now.
Wow.
So
that's impressive.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, do you have like a website or Instagram?
I don't actually. Actually, on Instagram, yeah, it's Christian's Comics 87.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And people can check out your other
absolutely.
inspirations there.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Now, what do you have coming up? Are you going to be working on what's your next costume project?
I don't know yet. I was thinking maybe Mr. Miracle or even Iron Fist. Something really fun.
Right.
Something you don't really see too often.
So you get all your inspiration mostly from the comics? DC
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, big comic book fan.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, very cool.
So,
Well, thanks for talking to us. We appreciate it.
no problem.
All right, cool. All right. Hi everybody, it's Tyro Man, and I'm coming from Fan Expo Boston 2018. I'm talking with Noah. How you doing, Noah?
Hi, nice to meet you. How you doing today, Tyro?
Good. So you're self-publishing. You got a new character that you're coming out with in 6 months, year?
6 months, yeah. Around October. Around October. The first issue is going to come out in October.
And it's Oscar Roach.
It's Oliver Roach.
Oliver
Roach.
Oh, my apology.
That's okay.
That's bad. He'll come and kill me, right?
That's right. He'll come and get you. He's a scary animated cartoon character animated by an ancient Sumerian demon.
Now, how did you come up with this character?
I think it was a little bit through being exploited as an artist. My wife was also a scientist at the time, and she was starting out. She's a doctor now. She's got a doctorate, but during her younger years, they steal a lot of ideas from you, and they exploit you just the same way I noticed that you do in art. They kind of exploit you a little bit. So the theme of the entire thing was exploitation. So I put Sammy into a position where he's being chased by his own creation, which he does not want to do. He doesn't feel like he can do it. He doesn't want anything to do with it at all. And he's running from one situation of exploitation to another, and everything in hopes to rescue himself and his girlfriend from this terrible situation that they created themselves, which was bringing a monster to life. It was his own creation, almost like Frankenstein, you make a creation and ultimately it ends you and running away from that. So that's what it's about.
Now he's a cockroach? Or?
He's a Sumerian demon in the ink and paint version of the cockroach. That his cartoon, Sammy, the main character, created as a cartoon, and in the style of say Looney Tunes, Bugs Bunny can do anything that in the cartoon universe he needs to do to make a gag or make a laugh. He can produce anything that he needs to be scary. So it's basically a horror comic book. He turns as the night goes on, he progressively gets scarier and scarier, and more like a demon and more like a monster, and more of his true form shows through. So in the end, he has to face his own creation and the demons that it has generated.
Now you were saying that the book starts out at the end, and you have to learn how he got there.
Yes, it starts out with him now, and this all takes place 20 years ago. So you find out where he is in his life now, and you wonder how he got to be there and everything, and he goes back and introduces us to something happened to them. We want to know what it is, and we follow the story from there, how they got through their early years and what happened to them, this fantastic thing. And it seems like it's imagination. It seems like he got a bump on the head and he's imagining all this thing. He's an eccentric character. He's just making it all up and everything, but in truth it really happened, and everything that can happen in comics, it's fantastical. So it did happen, and we learned about how they got to where they are now by following them through the past to the future.
Now, what would you say is the most challenging part of self-publishing?
I think it's switching hats, because I have to be a promotions person, I have to pencil it, I have to ink it, I have to keep on scheduling, and that's hard for artists to keep on scheduling. You have to really try to nail deadlines. And then it's also switching over to coloring and lettering and producing. But I did some time as a graphic designer, so I know how to do that sort of stuff. It's just keeping myself on schedule. Because you self-publish with the internet now, you don't have the barriers and the hurdles to cultivating sort of like a mode of delivery or a mode of distribution. So you can distribute it yourself. So I felt since that hurdle's down, making the product is the hardest part. Yeah.
Cool. Now you also the writer too, right?
Yeah, I also write. Yeah.
So you do the whole thing.
I do the whole thing. I write the stories, come up with the ideas and stuff like that.
Nice.
Yes, thank you.
Now, do you have like a website if people want to keep tabs on when the book's coming out and all that kind of stuff?
There's no website for Oliver Roach yet. I just put the Oliver Roach stuff on noahbarrettart.com, which is my regular website, and then I release the work through Instagram. It's more convenient. A lot more people on Instagram now than will have access to a website. Right. So Oliver also has his own Facebook page, Oliver Roach, and so you can go there and look. And Noah Barrett is my handle on Instagram. So you can see a lot of the work. Every time I do new work, I post it like most artists. I just post it, keep everybody abreast of it and everything, and that's how I release information.
That's cool. What's the reactions been at the convention?
Well, I think the reason why people have been very positive. A lot of people have come up because I'm not selling anything, so they wonder why I'm here. There's no book out front and everything. I say I'm just building an identity and building awareness for it and everything. But over the years, the Oliver pages I did have were in the back of my portfolio, and everyone would look through and they would say, "What's this?" They picked that out, so that's the reason why I kept it alive. And now, here just by itself, it's the only thing on my table. It's not 100 drawings of Iron Man or Captain America. There's just this, and there's enough interest for people to come and see it and like it. And I think that he has sort of a resonance. He resonates with people. So, hopefully, I can keep that going, make that momentum into an actual movement, and actually make him live in the minds of other people. So,
very cool. Well, thanks for talking to us. We do appreciate it. And good luck with the book. We'll be looking forward in October.
Thank you very much. I'll let you know.
Okay, great.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Hi, I'm Tyro. I'm here at Fan Expo Boston, and I'm talking with Isaac of Vortex Man. How you doing, Isaac?
Good. How are you today?
I'm doing well. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your project, Vortex Man?
So Vortex Man is we've become a disposable society. So Vortex Man, every one of our characters represents what's happening in our environment today. Vortex Man takes place in the Pacific Patch because there's enough garbage in the ocean for Texas 2 times. So we've got characters like Vortex Man. We've got Waste. We've got Agro, she was captured by Monsanto's spreads GMOs. We've got Billy Matt. He's against GMOs. We've got a character for fracking. You got Steven Seagal. He ate the plastic. He sits on major comics and show. We've got over 80 characters. We're international with a comic book. It's really taken off. It's really, again, every one of our characters actually represents of what's happening in our environment today. So it's pretty neat. It's interesting. I teamed up with Aiken and Garvey. They inked for Iron Man, did some work for Transformers in the early 80s and early 90s.
So what inspired you to get involved with trying to do this kind of project, like, to help the environment kind of thing?
I'm just tired of the way we've become. Everyone just wants the newest device. Everyone wants everything quick at their fingertips, and there's ramifications for that. I tell everyone, like one of our characters, we have General D. Straw. He's made out of all the drinking straws. So I tell people, you know what, next time you go out to eat, think twice before you ask for a straw. You can go without a straw. Another character, for instance, Kern Filterberg. He's made out of all cigarette butts. I love it when I, drive a car and I'm driving and I'm looking and I see somebody throwing a cigarette butt out the window. Well, if you don't like that stinky bad habit, then don't smoke. So it's things like that, that I'm like, you know what, let's put an awareness to the cause and effect of what's happening. Because all paths lead to the ocean. So, like for instance, we have a character about gum, Miss Gum, and she's made out of gum, and there's a whole storyline behind that and how she became. But people think that, I'm done with my gum, let me throw it in a parking lot, let me throw it on the ground. Well, no, recycle it. It's actually made out of plastic as well. And that goes into the ocean. So these are things that our effects are affecting the environment of what we're doing. So,
Now, how many issues do you have today, and how much?
We have 4. Our first comic book was launched on Scorched Earth, which is 1 out of 5 series. This is it right here. This was released in 2015 on Earth Day. This is Scorched Earth number 2. That was released on Earth Day 2016. 2017 was the origin story for Vortex Man, which takes place in the Pacific Patch. So this is actually a true photo of the way what the Midway Island looks like. And our artist, Garvey, he actually redrew this. And then you have 2018 Earth Day, and then this is Polymera, and she's made out of the balloons and the nylars that go up in the air. Next year is our epic comic book, and that's going to be in manga, and it's going to be in Japanese, and that's the Fukushima. It's called the Fukushima Dynamo, and we have over a dozen characters that are going to be released in that comic book. Yep. So look out for it.
Oh, that's so cool. So it's a yearly...
Every year we release a comic book on Earth Day. Yep.
Ah, cool. Very cool. Now, how's the reactions been? A lot of
it's
support?
been really great. We sold quite a few comics. We sold out in Israel in comic book stores. We are all indie right now, so we do any comic books you might want to buy will be through Comic-Con. There are limited stores that are selling it right now. Trying to keep it as indie as possible, more create that, we want that type of comic. So we are most likely going to end up being in a lot of the comic shops soon. But we want to control our destiny on which way we want to go with everything. So, and part of our proceeds go to kids with cancer. We team up with different hospitals every year or different events. That was for the awareness of, again, kids with cancer, autism, or cleaning up the oceans.
Wow, very cool, very cool.
Yep. So, Vortex Man's the issue. That is the whole name of the series. You got to see it. It's the old school feel, as you can see inside. Every one of them is an old school type of feel. You feel like you're, back into like the 50s, and everything it represents, again, what we've done today as a disposable society, we've become.
Now, what again is Vortex Man's power?
So Vortex Man's powers is he consumes the garbage. So he's basically, he can withstand anything because in the ocean there's everything. So he's made up of glass, he's made up of plastic, he's made up of straws. So he has the ultimate power. He is like the Superman in Vortex Man in the whole series of the comic book is Vortex Man.
Oh, cool. Very nice.
Yep. So we have about 80 characters. By the end of the year, we'll have 100 characters. You can go on www.vortexman1.com. Again, it's www.vortexman1.com and putting the number 1 out. Yep.
It's Vortex Man's around here. I've seen him, right?
Yeah,
He's here?
Vortex Man's actually around here. we have Vortex Man. Last year, Polymera was walking around with her costume, introducing her new comic book that was coming out this year. She couldn't make it today, but look out for Polymera next year. Next year we'll have Aggro. We have a lot of female characters, as well as male characters. Yep. Very diversified.
Hey, it's Vortex Man. Hi, how you doing, Vortex Man?
I'm good, and yourself?
Good.
Good.
So, thanks for trying to help the environment along.
Absolutely. It's all about the environment, future for the kids. Try to do the best we can with one day at a time. Try to push the idea onto the younger generation, hopefully make some headway with the environmental destruction we're doing.
Now, do you have a bunch of teammates to help you out?
Yeah, we have a whole crew. Yeah, we have our team here, other people on the outside. So we have quite a big network of people.
Well, we appreciate you finding a good cause for us and trying to help the planet along.
I enjoy it.
Thanks again.
Anytime. Have a great day.
You too. Thanks, Vortex Man. And thank you.
Yeah, you got it. Thank you. And don't forget, Vortex Man, www.vortexman1.com.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Never and never being told what you can or cannot do. This is one of us. A 1, 2, 3. Before I got to fighting, or when fighting got to me, I looked to find examples on the field of chivalry, and I saw mighty arms, much stronger than my arms could ever be. So I thought perhaps that field was not for me. But still I stayed and watched the fighting, till one figure stood apart, in armor newly fashioned, and a helm more pot than art. But each blow is thrown with honor and the lightness of the heart. So I took that step which soon became a start. 'Cause she was not the biggest fighter, nor one to raise a fuss, but I remember being proud that she was one of us. And we might never stand together in a shield wall side by side. Because of her I lift my sword with pride. She was ladylike and lively, not the type you would expect, with a braver heart than many and a slot shot to respect. And I guess she'd once decided this was where she'd like to be, and I thought if she could do it, why not me? 'Cause she was